Hello, everyone. This is an opportunity to learn a little bit more about a new feature we've added to TimeKeeper, which will automatically assign overtime to a timesheet. So in this case, this first employee that I have set aside is a Ohio-based employee working an hourly job outside of California. So the overtime rules for this is rather simple. Anything over 40 hours is going to be overtime. In the existing method, the supervisor could always go through a project and then choose which project they would like to assign the overtime rate to. So perhaps SRA work is eligible for overtime pay, but LRA work isn't. Consider this like possibility like a storm project or whatnot. But a lot of times users or supervisors don't need to go through that particular detail. They just need to assign a task, and it can be fairly arbitrary which ones carry the overtime rate. So we've added this menu in the top, and there's this new automatically assign overtime. And once I click it, then Timekeeper will automatically identify days of the week where there is overtime detected and split the activities up appropriately to mark them as overtime or not overtime. If the supervisor runs this process and then decides, actually, I want that overtime carried here, they can always manually correct it, or they could just manually assign it in the first place. The mechanism works pretty well for California-based employees here as well. So this would be an example of a California-based employee. And in California, the system, if you're a California-based employee, the system will automatically determine your overtime on a day-by-day basis based on if you worked outside of your schedule. So in this case, Timekeeper has picked up that there's 10-hour day on Monday, 2 hours of which would be overtime. As I hover over, you can see it knows there should be 2 hours of overtime assigned there. So again, I'll go and I'll use the automatically assign overtime button, and it will break out that activity, setting up a new 2-hour activity to go with it. Now I can go ahead and submit the timesheet, and it will go through the approval process because the overtime has all been assigned. Go ahead and do that with this gentleman as well. Now, if I go back to the existing timesheets and I wanted to blanket approve these timesheets myself, I would have that option here in this new menu. So under the timesheets page, going over to the My Team and timesheets, we can do these actions here. So approving the pending timesheets, and it will automatically make all these approved rather than having to go into each and every single timesheet. If I go in the table, I can get a different breakdown of that information and see how things are laid out. And I can go ahead and click the Approve Pending Timesheets. It will automatically try to approve any timesheets that are pending approval in the system. So in this case, it approved 3 of the timesheets, and I know they got approved because they went away. It says up here, successfully approved 3 timesheets. However, one of the timesheets failed because I had an SAP validation error, a bad equipment ID for this Nissan truck. So I had to go and make that correction so then I could approve it. So the blanket approval process will still run the same validation checks that are ran when you manually approve it. We've just automated that process a little bit, making it a little bit more streamlined. In the next release for Timekeeper, we will be adding a button for the automatic assign overtime process here as well. Fortunately, that is still to come, but we wanted to get the other tools out sooner than later rather than wait for everything. So I hope some of these new features I showed help you with your process. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can reach out to the Google community, or you can always email me directly. Thanks very much for your time, and please stay safe.